you would place your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand. I, and repeat your name,
I, Lauren Poe,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support, honor, and protect
that I will support, honor, and protect
and defend the Constitution and government
and defend the Constitution and government
of the United States
of the United States
and the state of Florida,
and the state of Florida,
that I am duly qualified
that I am duly qualified
to hold office under the Constitution
to hold office under the Constitution
of the state and under the charter of the city of Gainesville,
and under the charter of the city of Gainesville,
and I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
perform the duties of city commissioner
perform the duties of city commissioner
on which I am now about to enter.
on which I am now about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's a great day to be in Gainesville, is it not? The gardenias are blooming, the perfume is in the air, love bugs are in the air, the humidity's back, the rain is falling. I knew it was going to rain, by the way, because my in-laws are here for this great occasion, and they're from Ohio, and every time they visit from Ohio to the Sunshine State to escape their, 32 days of sunshine there a year, it always rains. So I knew that we would finally end this drought and get some rain because my in-laws are kind enough to join us. And I want to thank Larry for that inspiring and most appropriate invocation, and I hope that will help guide us as we enter upon this journey that we're going to take for the next 3 years. So I'd like to begin by thanking those closest to me for their encouragement and support. Thank you, Mother and Father, and father-in-law and mother-in-law, and their mothers and fathers, and the mothers and fathers before them. You did your level best to raise me, to have compassion for all people, to put others before myself, that I have a responsibility to provide for the greater good, and to live a life that will leave our community healthier, happier, and stronger than before I joined it. All of my imperfections, my faults and my shortcomings are of my own doing and have nothing to do with your role as life guides. Thank you for giving me the ability to recognize my flaws and the desire to improve upon them. Thank you to my incredible wife, Emily, and my most perfect daughter, Elizabeth. She's a strong woman and she has strong opinions, and you're going to hear her throughout this speech, I guarantee you. My success is measured by your encouragement and support. You keep me grounded. You always remind me that above all else comes family, and that I am so blessed that you are both part of my whole. Thank you to all my friends and supporters. You motivate me, counsel me, raise me up, and knock me down. I'm indebted to your wisdom and to your guidance. And thank you for all those who challenge me. You help me more clearly define why I serve and further clarify the values that guide me. My promise to all of you is that I will serve the greatness of Gainesville faithfully. I will provide the leadership you expect and deserve, and together we will guide our city into civic exceptionalism. We live in politically distasteful times. Cooperation is shunned at the expense of governing. Reason is the casualty of intransigence. This accepted condition of the state of our democracy sometimes reminds me of the beginning of the book of Isaiah. It is neither a bright nor encouraging portrait Isaiah paints of his people. The text begins with a community in despair, with little hope of finding their way to a better life. The story is grim. Grim as only the Old Testament can be. But a way out, a way up is proffered. Suddenly it is offered, learn to do good, demand justice, stand for the oppressed. The suggestion is then made to come. Let us reason together. The political rancor that exists at all levels of government, as promoted and encouraged by the media and funded by increasingly shadowy figures and groups, asks that we ignore this option. We have been deceived into thinking that it is simply the way our government functions, that we are powerless and resigned to looking wistfully back at times greater than our own. But in a representative government, we have the ability to rise above the rancor and do great work with our gift of reason. So, as we look to the future of Gainesville, I ask all of you to come, let us reason together. Gainesville is abuzz with excitement. There's a shared enthusiasm amongst Gainesvillagers that great things are happening. We optimistically wonder where we are headed, how we will get there, and what Gainesville next will look like. To begin to understand the promise of our future, we must first understand the path that led us to this point. Gainesville has constantly reinvented itself, evolved as circumstances demanded. We are not, nor have we ever been, a passive city, waiting to be affected by the tides of change. Gainesville's history is one of challenge, progress, and eventually triumph. So let us reason together to understand where we have come from so we can better know where we are going. The first diminutive seed that would grow to be Gainesville was planted in 1853. Gainesville became the Alachua County seat because of its location along the Florida Railroad stretching from Cedar Key to Fernandina Beach. This positioning as a transportation hub would be a crucial event for the social and economic future of Gainesville. Gainesville became the center of a booming cotton industry. Later, we tried our hand at citrus, only to be wiped out by a couple of brutal winters. We were then central to phosphate and timber operations, which helped Gainesville to grow to be one of the largest cities in Florida by the early 20th century. Throughout this evolution, investment in infrastructure, including transportation and utilities, was central to Gainesville's success. Our city made investments in paving roads with brick and later asphalt, creating then expanding the utilities to offer to our residents and creating a professional fire and police department. These were all important elements in attracting economic development opportunities to Gainesville. And these investments were not without their critics, for it is not a new development that progress is viewed with contempt by those mired in the past. But these investments were never more significantly realized than when we competed for and secured the flagship university for the state of Florida. Since 1905, Gainesville and the Gator Nation have been inseparable. And it has never been a greater time to be a Florida Gator. Gainesville continued to grow and flourish during the 20th century. We have had our roadblocks and our celebrations, but it has been the collective dedication to an evolving Gainesville that has brought us to the crossroads we are at today. So where are we headed? How does Gainesville transition into a city that not will merely endure, but thrive in the 21st century? I suggest that we come together and reason. The first point of reason, of fact, is that the nature of transportation is changing. Miles driven per household are down and gas prices are up. Peak oil forecasts indicate that supply will continue to tighten, and at the same time, international demand for oil is growing exponentially, causing upward pressures on prices that are consuming more and more of each family's paycheck. Families are now spending upwards of $4,000 a year on fuel alone. It is then no coincidence that a vast majority of people, 83% according to a recent poll, want more and improved bicycle and pedestrian facilities and want to live within walking distance of restaurants, grocery stores, and favor alternative forms of transportation. In 2011, transit ridership reached its highest level since 1957. Gainesville's RTS service has grown more than tenfold in the last decade. We see an undeniable link between time spent in a car and poor health. We must rethink our built community and enable families to have access to the new lifestyles they wish to lead. The time to invest in transportation alternatives is now. We must come and reason together as a community in order to create a complete transportation plan that will serve the needs of our whole community for the next 100 years. This approach needs to include a comprehensive plan to maintain our roads infrastructure at a high standard of quality in perpetuity. It also means developing a plan to expand transportation options. And these options need to include a premium transit service that connects our residents with employment and entertainment centers across the city. We also need to find ways to better improve how we design our city to better serve our residents. Connecting Gainesvillagers to one another is one of the key factors to advancing a vibrant social, political, and economic environment. Artist David Byrne of the Talking Heads highlights the importance of connecting people when telling the story of his creative process. He used to bicycle around Manhattan and Brooklyn, stopping whenever he heard music coming out of a nightclub. He would hop from nightclub to nightclub, soaking in the rich musical styles that came from around the world. This tapestry of music would later be woven into the extraordinary compositions of Byrne's Talking Heads and his solo work. But it's not just important to connect people for artistic purposes. It is critical if we are to fully realize the potential of Innovation Gainesville. A recent study found that patent citations showing, a recent study was done of patent citations showing that it was 10 times more likely for a person submitting a patent to cite another patent from within his or her metropolitan area than from outside it. Connectivity is the key to an energetic, creative, and interactive economic ecosystem. If we reason together, we will conclude that a first-class transportation plan, including premium transit, will not only be much less expensive means of providing transportation to our citizens, but it will help connect people and increase the freedom people have in their personal lives. A better-built city will connect our innovators, artists, entrepreneurs, and workers, and will in turn lead to greater freedom of employment, greater freedom of where you live, and a greater economic freedom. If families are able to downsize their automobile fleet and live in a more connected city, they will suddenly be free to spend that money on things that will improve their lives and add to the economic vitality of the city. Imagine not having to make that second car payment, not stopping at the gas station every week, not making the insurance payment, and not having to pay for that blood pressure medication because all of those other drivers on the road. So come, let us reason together to create a transportation program and development plan that is inclusive of our entire community. Help us reason together to bring people together, to increase choice, to mobilize, connect, and empower our community. If we delay this investment in our community, we will do what Gainesville has never done before. We will let opportunity pass us by. Much of what I speak of is contingent on increased citizen involvement in their government and overall community. I'm reminded of Dr. Martin Luther King's call to action when he pointed out that everybody can be great because anybody can serve. For Gainesville to truly become the city of our potential, we need to evolve as a government. We need to facilitate and encourage more civic participation. We need to empower families to become the political process that is the lifeblood of a healthy community. In essence, our city government needs to not just be a participant in Innovation Gainesville, but a leader in the initiative. I will refer to the new approach as Government 2.0. Municipal government has evolved over the last 159 years of Gainesville's existence. We started out as a tiny and insular organization, grew more professional with the manager-council system, and added accountability through sunshine laws, and reached out to the community with traditional media like Channel 12 and our website. But that was last century. We are building the Gainesville of the 21st century. At its most simple, Government 2.0 is an upgrade to the city's operating system. When fully implemented, it will serve three purposes: to increase government transparency, to increase public participation, and to increase both internal and external collaboration as we solve the challenges of tomorrow. This will be accomplished through making available to the public useful data sets in an easy-to-consume format. The result will be a better functioning government, as well as a government that more fully engages its citizens. Let me give you a few examples of how Government 2.0 can work. This is the story of the possum and the Good Samaritan. A resident of South Boston walked out to her backyard on a cold winter evening to find a possum in her trash can. The resident was quite alarmed and unsure what to do. Like many people in times of confusion and desperation, the concerned citizen turned to their government. The following post appeared on Boston's Citizens Connect smartphone app. Possum in my trash can. Can't tell if it's dead. Barrel in back of 168 West 9th. How do I get this removed? To which a stranger yet fellow Southie replied, 11:15 p.m., walked over to the West 9th Street. It's about 3 blocks from my house. Located trash can behind house. Possum? Check. Living? Yep. Turned the trash can on its side, walked home. Good night, sweet possum. Progressive cities have started to use Government 2.0 to create mobile apps for public art and historical buildings. Honolulu has created a 311 dashboard, a one-stop resource for citizens to report graffiti, potholes, abandoned cars, or even give public input on urban design or budget priorities. Boston has implemented a mobile app that allows citizens to adopt a fire hydrant in the winter in order to keep it free of snow for the fire department. One of the problems they have in the Northeast, we don't have here, is the snow comes, they come plow the snow, it goes up onto the sides of the roads and the sidewalk, and the fire hydrants are invisible. So then a fire breaks out and the fire department can't find the fire hydrant. So they create a very simple adopt a fire hydrant program. People went onto their mobile phone, found a fire hydrant near their house, the snows come, the plows come, they go to their fire hydrant, they shovel it out, the public is safe once again. How great a solution is that to a problem? Denver and Philadelphia have unveiled a citizen engagement project called Beautiful Streets. Residents are able to view a wide variety of public streets on a website and then vote for the elements of those streets that they like best, so the government can then implement that vision when they design future streets and redesign and redevelop areas that have been too long neglected. By creating the opportunity to crowdsource ideas and solutions for Gainesville's challenges, we empower our residents and expand the innovative ecosystem exponentially. I look forward to hosting our first hackathon that will engage our community. This solution-based data engagement festival will unleash Gainesville's creativity in exciting and productive new ways. And we will see new greatness because they will all be given the opportunity to serve. I will be aggressively pursuing the implementation of a Government 2.0 strategy. I will be meeting with our private code writers and tech developers to recruit them to this upgrade. I will lead the development of an interactive civic commons. Within 3 years, I fully expect to see Gainesville's operating system installed, upgrading, and facilitating a more transparent, participatory, and collaborative city government. And then all of our citizens can be great because any of them will be able to serve. And this newly engaged community will lead to a greater Gainesville. In the Zulu tongue, the typical greeting is Sawubona, or I see you. It does not mean the superficial, yep, there you are, right there in front of me. Rather, I acknowledge your significance. I see your dignity. I see your potential. I see your humanity. I see your uniqueness. I see your importance to the health of our community. It is a greeting of inclusiveness, of oneness, and of respect. And the typical response is, I am here. It means I am ready to be accepted, to be included, to be a part of doing great things. So, to our Gainesville community, I see you. To our civic leaders at all levels of government, I see you. To our leaders at the University of Florida and Santa Fe College, I see you. To our neighborhood leaders and activists, I see you. To our artists who inspire and entertain, I see you. To our teachers and mentors, I see you. To our public servants, I see you. To our innovators and entrepreneurs, I see you. To our disadvantaged and helpless, I see you. To our children, I see you. To our mothers and fathers, I see you. To our students and our retirees, I see you. To our outspoken and to our underrepresented, I see you. To straight, gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgendered, I see you, and I hope you are not against me, but with me. To all races, creeds, to those of great faith and no faith, I see you. To our Democrats, Republicans, and independents, I see you. To our wealthy and our poor, I see you. To our connected and our marginalized, I see you. To every last thread of fabric that is Gainesville, I see you. I honor your dignity. I celebrate your diversity. I'm inspired by your contribution, and I'm awed by your greatness. And from this boundless respect I have for you, I too have great expectations. I expect you to honor one another. I expect you to honor the high road and cast off those who would ask you to walk along any other path. I will hold you to the highest standards as I expect you to do to me. And together, all of us will create a Gainesville worthy of our grandchildren. So, Gainesville, I see you. You are great because you serve. So will you come with me so we can reason together? If you agree to do this, we will surely achieve the promise of our forefathers and foremothers, and will be most proud to call ourselves Gainesvillagers. Thank you.